Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are laser focused on optimizing your daily spending, you've landed in exactly the right place. Today, we're totally dissecting the exact math behind one of the most talked about co-branded cashback cards on the market right now, the Swiggy HDFC bank credit card. We're going to cut right through the marketing fluff and break down the hard numbers to see if this card actually deserves a coveted spot in your wallet.
Here is our game plan for today. We'll quickly meet the card, talk fees and welcome benefits, figure out exactly how you earn that cash back, look at the extra perks and redemptions, and then weigh the ultimate pros and cons.
Section 1. Meet the Swiggy HDFC card. So, who is this card actually for? It's heavily positioned as an entry to mid-tier option for a very specific digital-first lifestyle. Basically, if you're a millennial or Gen Zer who lives on food delivery, grabs groceries via quick commerce, and does a ton of online shopping, they are looking directly at you. It's purpose-built for folks who want to maximize their savings on everyday dining and digital shopping without having to jump through hoops to understand a crazy rewards point system. Now, check out how cleanly the eligibility splits here. You've got to be an Indian citizen, sure, but look at the income thresholds based on how you earn your money. If you're salaried, the barrier to entry is super accessible. You just need to be between 21 and 60 years old with a minimum salary of just 15,000 rupees a month. But if you're self-employed, while the age limit bumps up to 65, the bank suddenly wants to see an income tax return of at least 6 lakh rupees per annum. Big difference, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, fees and welcome benefits.
All right, let's talk about the absolute baseline cost of holding this piece of plastic. The joining fee and your annual renewal fee after that is 500 rupees. But we have to be completely precise here. An 18% GST does apply to that fee, so your actual out-of-pocket is going to be slightly higher. It's a pretty low barrier, honestly, but it's still a real cost we have to factor into our equation.
But here is exactly how you erase that cost entirely. If you hit the waiver target of 2 lakh rupees in annual spending, that 500 rupee fee completely vanishes, basically keeping your value equation firmly in the green. But you absolutely have to pay attention to these bottom 2 rows. The interest rate on an unpaid balance is a whopping 3.75% per month. Guys, that is 45% annually. Plus, there's a steep 2.5% cash advance fee with a 500 rupee minimum. So the golden rule here? Always pay your balance in full and literally never use this card to withdraw cash at an ATM. Just don't do it.
Let's clear up some financial jargon while we're at it. Foreign currency markup. You hear it all the time. Simply put, it's just a fee the bank slaps on whenever you buy something in a currency other than Indian rupees. Think traveling abroad or buying from an international website. On this card, that fee is a really high 3.5% plus GST. So, fair warning. This card is going to be quite expensive to use for international trips or any non-rupee transactions.
To help soften the blow of those fees, HDFC does throw in a pretty sweet welcome gift, a complimentary 3-month Swiggy One membership. Or, if you already have it, they'll just tack on 3 extra months to your current plan. But you don't just get this magically in the mail. To actually unlock this perk, you strictly have to activate the card, either by making a successful transaction or setting up your PIN and turning on online controls to meet RBI regulations.
Section 3. Earning your cashback rewards.
I honestly love how beautifully structured this is. The card works on a super strict 10-5-1 earning rule. At the very top, you're earning a massive 10% cashback across the entire Swiggy ecosystem. That's food, Instamart, Dine Out, Genie, the whole shebang. Tier 2 gives you 5% back on top online brands, so your Amazons, Mintras, and Book My Shows. But here's the massive catch. To get that 5%, it literally has to be an online payment. Swiping this card in a physical store for those exact same brands drops you straight down to the baseline tier of just 1% cashback.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates the math in action. Let's say you drop 150 rupees on an Instamart grocery run. You're hitting that top 10% tier, right? So you automatically get 15 rupees back on your next month's statement. There are no weird points to convert, no mental gymnastics required. It is just straight, totally transparent cash back in your pocket.
Of course, the bank isn't just going to hand out free money infinitely, which brings us to the dreaded monthly cashback caps. You cannot farm unlimited cashback. Your 10% Swiggy earnings are strictly capped at 1,500 rupees per billing cycle. To put that in perspective, once you spend 15,000 rupees on Swiggy in a month, you stop earning that 10%.
Bam! You hit the ceiling. The exact same 1,500 rupee ceiling applies to your 5% online spends, and your 1% baseline spends cap out at just 500 rupees. You really have to map your own spending against these ceilings.
We also desperately need to talk about where this card gives you absolutely zero value. Pay close attention to this list. You are going to earn zero cashback on rent, utility bills, wallet transfers, EMIs, government stuff, or jewelry. And the biggest kicker? Fuel transactions earn absolutely nothing. To make it worse, this card doesn't even offer a fuel surcharge waiver, meaning you are actually losing money swiping this at the gas pump. Just keep this card far, far away from these categories.
Section 4. Extra perks and redemptions.
All right, first things first, we gotta impartially call out a major missing piece here. If you fly frequently, listen up. This card completely lacks complimentary airport lounge access. Zero. Zilch. In a market where almost every competitor at this price point gives you at least a domestic lounge visit or two a quarter, this card just completely opted out of that perk.
But let's see how they try to make up for it elsewhere. Because this card operates on the MasterCard World tier, you do get a few surprisingly premium privileges. You're looking at 4 complimentary golf green fees and 12 golf lessons a year. You also get up to 12% off on Agoda hotel bookings. And a neat little bonus, on top of your cashback, you're earning 1 Indigo Blue Chip for every 250 rupees you spend on Swiggy platforms. So, no, you can't sit in the lounge, but you are at least racking up some flight points and hotel discounts.
Okay, time for hands down my favorite feature of this entire card, the redemption process. It is just beautifully simple. 1 reward point equals exactly 1 rupee, period. You don't have to log into some clunky, outdated rewards portal. You don't have to manually request your cash. The money just automatically credits to your credit card statement the very next month. And the absolute best part, 0 redemption fees. You literally keep every single rupee you earned.
Section 5. Final pros and cons. So, looking objectively at both columns here, the advantages are incredibly strong if you actually fit the target profile. That 10% cashback on food and groceries is just massive. 5% on top online brands is super competitive, and waiving that 500 rupee fee is an absolute breeze if it's your daily driver. But you have to weigh that against the reality of the drawbacks. Those strict 1,500 rupee caps completely throttle heavy spenders. No lounge access is a big bummer for travelers, and the harsh penalties for international and fuel spends are definitely no joke.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Does your monthly digital and Swiggy habit truly justify the caps and limitations of this card? I challenge you to look at your last few months of spending. If your food delivery and online shopping naturally sit right under those monthly caps, this card is honestly an absolute powerhouse for your wallet. But if you're a heavy traveler or you're spending thousands on fuel every month, you might want to keep looking. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, everyone. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I will see you in the next one.